While most of the population of the world living in their precious northern hemisphere is currently embarking upon the summer season and having to worry about how much heat their PCs are putting out, us, down here in the underrated southern hemisphere, are getting hit with cold snaps and having to bundle up in the middle of June. I don't wear this because I want to look like I'm a weirdo. This is my winter onesie. That's right, winter is coming here in South Africa. In my former cozy American life, I was used to houses that had insulation and central air that allowed you to keep your house warm and not just have the heat sip away once the day's over. But I'm now living in a country where those things just aren't prevalent, so I have to make do. However, it just seems so wasteful to run a dedicated space heater in my room to make sure I'm not a popsicle when I wake up in the morning. Even in the middle of the day with the sun shining in, my bedroom barely reaches the mid-60s. At night, when the temperatures outside drop to near freezing, so do the temperatures in my room. So I got to thinking, how do I constructively fix my heating issue while also putting the wattage that's converted into heat to good use? Bitcoin mining. More specifically, AMD Bitcoin mining. I'm actually about to put the long-running joke of AMD being a room heater to good use. So I contacted my friends over at ASUS South Africa to see if they'd be able to help me out, and help me out they did. I mean, in the middle of the cryptocurrency frenzy, finding any AMD GPU above a 560 is either impossible to get new or cost a hefty price premium used. Supply and demand, I suppose. But fortunately, ASUS had what I needed. So now it's time to build the ultimate room heater PC with the ASUS X370 Crosshair VI Hero and dual RX 580s. I mean two 580s, not just the dual, because they sent me two, but one is actually called the dual 580, but the other is the Strix. I have two 580s, one Ryzen 7, and I'm gonna have a warm room. That's what I'm excited for, so let's build this PC. As you can now see, it's nighttime, which means the temps are plummeting, my room is getting cold, and my wife is in her Pikachu onesie. So now it's time to set up the room heater PC. As you can see, I'm leaving the side panels and everything off of the chassis because the goal is to dump heat into the room, not trap it inside the case at all. And in all proper sensibility, it's not really worth it to mine with your CPU. It's just a few cents on the dollar for extra power draw and heat input into the system. But since that doesn't really concern me tonight and I just want to stay warm, the Ryzen CPU is set to 3.8 GHz to dump the heat, and each of the RX 580s is overclocked to 1425 MHz core and 11 GHz memory on both the dual and Strix cards. Now I also have the PC68 Wi-Fi adapter in there as well because I don't have any Ethernet running into this room. So I have everything set up to actually be able to connect to the mining servers. The temps on the cards for my preliminary testing seems to keep both of them in the mid-60C region, even with the overclock and restricted airflow from having both of them installed, which means that the GPUs are effectively dissipating their own heat and dumping it into the environment, which is the perfect solution for this situation. Power efficiency is of no concern to me, as I'll at least be making some cash while I sleep with this heater at night, as opposed to just dropping cash into the toilet for a dedicated heater. I think when I did the calculations, these are earning roughly altogether about $10 per day. So that means in the 8 hours that I'm going to sleep, I'll earn about roughly $3.30, which is a bit more than spending $3.30 on heat, although it should be less than that. This should be more efficient. That's the whole point. Anyways, I'll just be using the NiceHash miner for simplicity to get this up and get the heat pumping into the room. It's currently, I forgot the thermometer. Let me go check and see. Okay, it's currently 60 degrees Fahrenheit in the room right now, and if it can stay near this temp or higher during the course of the night, I'm going to be perfectly satisfied with the arrangement, provided that my wife doesn't mind the gorgeous RGB lights flashing in her face while she's getting her beauty rest. I'm just getting a stare. Thank you for letting me do this. I love you. Okay, so I'm just gonna turn this on, let it run, and then it's good night. Okay, she is good to go. I'm gonna unplug the monitor just because I don't want the light going on, and apparently it mines less efficiently with monitors plugged in. So unplug the monitor, go to sleep. I'm tired. Hopefully we'll have a room above 60 degrees C in the morning. So it's wake up time now, if you can't tell by my half-aware facial expression and slightly changed voice. Overall, I'd call this PC a success. Right now, the room is sitting at 66, 67 degrees, even though the temperatures outside have plummeted to the low 40s and is roughly 48 degrees outside right now, according to my weather app. The AMD heater PC has kept my room much warmer than it otherwise would have been, because I would have woken up to a room in the mid to high 40s. Obviously, the heat output is limited by the power draw of the components, and if I added more GPUs or overclocked them a bit further, it could probably be in the balmy 70s right now. However, with just two 580s and a Ryzen 7 processor, you too could keep your room from freezing over at night. Obviously, mining with these computer parts is a good use for them right now, but that's not really what they're designed for. This was a fun experiment for me to stay warm at night, but when the mining bubble bursts, you guys are going to want to know how these cards perform in gaming. So in the coming days, I'll have a review out on each of the GPUs, both the Strix and the dual 580s, to cover the more traditional aspects of what these GPUs are used for. So be sure to subscribe to be updated when those videos drop. Be sure to hit that like button while you're down there if you enjoyed this little project for me to cope with South African winters. And big thanks again to ASUS South Africa for providing the hardware necessary for me to make this video, especially in the middle of a graphics card drought. I'm Brett with the UF Disciple channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.